conceit, but you guys have really moved beyond that to, making it a safe space for everyone regardless of, gender.
Yes.
How have you, in your thinking and strategy, evolved that piece?
Absolutely. And so this is one of the biggest priorities for us, right? Bumble is at its core an inclusive brand mission platform. And candidly, which by the way, any founder, any entrepreneur has to be able to do this, you have to be able to admit blind spots along the way, right? And so the first few years we were so dedicated to recalibrating these heteronormative systems that there were a lot of folks along the way that said, hey, we feel left out of this equation. And of course, for same-sex matches, it always worked, but there's a lot of in between that wasn't taken into account. So right now, we're super focused on this. It's all about how do we build a more inclusive experience? How do we actually create healthier and more equitable relationships for all relationships, all genders, all preferences, not just, the one maybe that I related to back in 2014.
So ahead of the pandemic, you actually had already introduced video kind of dating to that app. Did you see this shift coming, regardless of the pandemic's impact on dating?
So what a lot of people don't realize, we actually had video in our app a year prior to the pandemic. Just nobody wanted to use it, except we liked it. So it was really interesting. We kept trying to promote it and try to get these, digital matches to move to dating first. And the theory was, which has now been validating, why would you go meet a stranger after exchanging 2 or 3 messages without just vetting them a little bit? And what better way to do that than click video call, literally spend 30 seconds of your time and say, ooh, wait, actually, that's not gonna work. Or I can't wait, let's go sooner, right? And so this was always an innovative feature in our minds. And sometimes, like a lot of entrepreneurs have gone through this, sometimes it takes timing and outside circumstances to validate certain innovative moves that a business has made. And so when the pandemic hit, we shifted from this focus on out-of-home marketing and all of these kind of events and so on and so forth, and we just turned it digital, and video dating went through the roof during the pandemic, and candidly, we're seeing it stick around. I know the pandemic's not over, but in these reopening plays, the video first format is still exceptional for a safety and validation opportunity for people to meet.
Yeah, and so obviously during the pandemic, dating radically shifted. How have you dealt with, a really drastically different consumer and their priorities, and what do you see that being going forward as we hopefully exit?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I would say pre-pandemic, there was still this stigma that, I'd meet people and they'd be like, oh, can I get a Bumble t-shirt and a Bumble hat? And I'd say, well, yeah, of course. How do you like the app? They're like, oh, no, I'm not on the app. I just want the t-shirt. I'm like, well, why aren't you on the app? So there was still this kind of disconnect. They'd say, oh, I'm married, or, I've got a, boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. And this remarkable shift took place during the pandemic where those folks that were married or not trying the product were all of a sudden gravitating to the product because loneliness took on a whole new level, right? We weren't just lonely in love or lonely in friendship. We were lonely everywhere. This crazy isolation shifted the way we thought about relationships at large. And so all of a sudden the product was flooded with people looking for any type of connection, whether that was him obsessed with this show on, Netflix or Apple TV or whatever. And I just want somebody else to talk to about this. And so it's been really exciting to see that the product has become this broader social network for people you don't know, and you can kind of find whoever you're looking for. BFF went through the roof, and that's been really exciting.
Yeah, I'll probably be using that as I move to a new city this year.